Hello everyone, this is Stefan at Lush and Salty Aquariums. Well, I've been doing a theme about nighttime in my fish tanks, and now the mother of all fish tanks. This is my 125-gallon reef. It's late, the lights could go off at any time. I don't know what they have been set exactly for, but it's imminent, and already the Kessels are out and just have the blue and dimming light. So the corals are starting to retract their polyps. You see this leather here, they're all dimpled and in. Likewise, this toadstool leather, normally they're almost twice the size with numerous beautiful polyps that expand, pulling food from the water column, but now tighter, closing up for bedtime. In the back, you see the Pali grandes, those green ones. They actually will eat pieces of shrimp from my hand and really anything that gets into them, not unlike the Venus flytrap. They're still open, hoping for a late night snack. The polyps on this Gorgonian are all retracted. Normally it's feathery, not unlike this one. It's a different species, but you see the polyps are still out. So certain corals close up faster than others, contingent upon light primarily, but there are other factors, the mysteries of a reef. This Gorgonian normally is feathered out, but it's already shut down, so it looks like, well, it looks like a tree that's been exposed to wildfire, which we're getting a lot of here. Outside, I smell smoke, but the inhabitants in this reef are blissfully unawares, thank God. Here's a Knobby Gorgonian. It's growing quite nicely. I might have to trim it, but I don't like doing that if I don't have to. This one still has its polyps expanded. It's a leather coral. And you see how beautiful they are as they sway in the currents. But yet, companion leather, different species, another toadstool has contracted its polyps. This Gorgonian was only 2 or 3 inches when I first put it on that ledge, but look at it now. Feathery and gorgeous. And there's my long-spined black sea urchin. I've got many a prick from it, and they're painful. That is the oldest resident in this tank. I had it in this tank when this tank was in another house. If you go back into the videos, you can see the fish tank in my previous residence. And then afterwards here, I moved the whole damn thing. There's a magnificent fox face, that fish there, a coal tang right there. And then I have 2 clowns, a mated pair. Let's see if I can show you something. Maybe. You see that cluster right there? Right there. Those are eggs with little clowns. Looks like they're ready to emerge. This happens almost bi-weekly. I've never seen a baby clownfish. They either get devoured upon hatching or devoured in the night by a creature, because I've never seen a baby clownfish in this tank. But the parents guard that nest up there vigilantly. Normally they would hang out in an anemone, but when I had anemones, they didn't do it. They liked that power head up there, and that's where they want to live. These are some common Paleothoa here, kind of like the dandelions in this tank. They're everywhere. There's a yellow tang, the icon of Hawaii. Whoop, there it goes. Here you see a bubble coral. It's mostly contracted. It will expand, and each of those polyps balloons out to some extent. It's a very fragile piece. but I love bubble corals. I used to have several. This is yet another kind of leather. So in a tank with all these fish, and at the rate I feed them, and the level of care I provide, which is tremendous, it would even have to be more tremendous to sustain other kinds of coral besides leather, besides Gorgonian, besides Paleothoa and zoas. But that's primarily what I have. I have a mushroom back there. You see that scalloped green atop the ledge next to the Paleothoa. Those will do all right in a tank with a heavy bio load. All these corals benefit from the marine plankton that I feed them in the form of reef, which is a brand, oyster eggs, which comes in a tube, and you can buy those at better fish stores, not Petco, but you can just pour some into this water column, and all these mini creatures will pull the nutrients right out of the water column into their polyps. Obviously, I haven't fed this tank tonight, so many of the corals are giving up on that prospect, and numerous fish have already taken to their beds. There's a couple RASS in here, and they sleep in the sand, generally in the back of the tank. They'll be underground, literally like some sort of vampire taken to the dirt, although at nighttime they go to bed just like us, unlike vampires. It's kind of a side view, not particularly impressive, not as impressive as this creature. He's my Sailfin tang, size of a silver dollar when I got him, now maybe a half-pound fish. I could never buy a fish this big for this tank, but since it grew up in here, it's used to it, and it's doing very well. Looking for a place to sleep tonight. Here, this is a gorgeous sponge, and you see it sort of propagating along the live rock down there. It's blue, literally blue. Not a whole lot of blue things in nature, but there you have it. Oh, here we go. There's a flame angel, and there he goes. A beautiful but common fish in pet stores. It's the only angelfish I have in here. If I had another angelfish, they'd likely fight. Sometimes people say with tangs and angelfish you might have problems, but I don't. All the creatures in this tank get along very, very well at this point in time. And I wanted to share that to you, nighttime on the reef. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment. Please ask questions. It's my pleasure to help with this aquarium hobby that I love so much, and I hope you do too. So all right, folks. Once again, always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now, or better said, good night.